Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're jumping into machine learning. It's really that foundational bit of modern AI, the part letting computers learn from data get better over time. Our mission, as always, in these deep dives is to pull out the most important, maybe even surprising ideas from your sources. We want to give you a shortcut to understanding this field because, well, it's quietly reshaping almost everything around us. You know those moments, right? Like when your music app just knows the next song you'll love, or your phone camera instantly tags faces and photos, even when you talk to Siri or Alexa, how they figure out what you mean. That's all machine learning doing its thing in the background.
Okay, so we hear machine learning, AI, often in the same breath. For you listeners keeping track, let's really unpack this. What is machine learning at its core? What's the actual distinction here?
Yeah, that's a great place to start. What's really fascinating is that machine learning, or ML, isn't about writing code for every single possibility like traditional programming. It's actually a subset of AI. And the core idea is algorithms learning patterns directly from data. So instead of us giving it rigid step-by-step rules,
Uh-huh.
we feed it examples, lots of examples. The model looks at them, finds the patterns itself, and then uses that understanding to make predictions or decisions on new stuff it's never seen.
That is so different, isn't it?
Totally different.
It makes me think of like teaching someone cats versus dogs. You don't list every single trait, dogs bark, cats meow. You just show them tons and tons of pictures labeled cat or dog.
Exactly.
And eventually they just get it. They pick up the underlying patterns.
That's precisely it. The basic flow is data in.
Mm-hmm.
The learning algorithm does its work, and you get a model out. And the power of that model is its ability to generalize, to apply its learning to new situations. And if you connect it to the bigger AI picture, well, AI is the grand goal, right? Making machines act intelligently, like humans, perhaps. Machine learning is a key tool for getting there, specifically focused on that learning from experience part. And you might hear deep learning thrown around too.
Right.
That's basically a more advanced type of ML, often using structures inspired by like how our brains seem to work with neural networks.
Okay, got it. So that foundational understanding is clear. Now, here's where it gets really interesting, and our sources dive into this. Why is ML such a big deal right now? Why should you, listening, really care?
Well, the simple answer is data. Our world is just drowning in data. Think about it: photos, weather patterns, shopping history, sensor readings from everywhere. It's an unbelievable amount. And machine learning has this incredible knack for sifting through these huge volumes of information. It finds useful patterns, insights, correlations, stuff that humans, honestly, we just couldn't find, or it would take us forever, way faster than we ever could.
So finding patterns faster, handling massive data, what does that actually mean for us, practically speaking? What are the benefits?
Well, it means things like more personalized recommendations, the kind that actually feel relevant, smarter digital assistants that understand you better. But it also goes deeper. Think faster, more accurate medical diagnoses based on analyzing thousands of scans. Companies love it too, of course. It automates repetitive tasks, sure, but it also helps them make much better data-driven decisions. Decisions that are almost impossible to make reliably at scale just using human analysis.
It's amazing how it's just woven into things now. So if ML is learning from data, how does it actually learn? Our sources seem to break it down into three main styles, like different ways of teaching. They call them the three pillars.
That's right. It's a good way to think about it. Three main categories. First, there's supervised learning. This is like having a teacher.
Okay.
You give the model labeled examples, so you provide the input and the correct output, the answer. Common tasks here are things like classification, is this email spam or not spam?
Right.
Or regression, like predicting a house price based on its size, location, number of bedrooms, that kind of thing.
Got it. Labeled data, learning with answers. What's next?
Next is unsupervised learning. This is more like learning on your own, exploring. Here, the model gets unlabeled data. There are no predefined answers.
Ah, okay.
The goal is for the algorithm to find hidden patterns or structures or groupings all by itself. So maybe clustering customers based on what they buy to see if they're natural segments, or using something called dimensionality reduction to simplify really complex data, maybe make it easier to visualize.
Finding patterns without being told what to look for. Interesting. And the third one?
The third one is reinforcement learning. And this one's really fascinating. It learns by trial and error.
Ah, like playing a game.
Exactly like playing a game. You have an agent, the algorithm that performs actions in some environment. For each action, it gets a reward, or maybe penalty, like points in a game.
Mm-hmm.
And over time, it learns a strategy, a set of behaviors to maximize its total reward. This is the kind of learning behind those superhuman game-playing AIs like AlphaGo that beat the world champion at Go.
Wow.
And it's also really crucial for things like robotics, teaching robots how to navigate or manipulate objects.
Okay, those three pillars, supervised, unsupervised, reinforcement, make a lot of sense as different learning styles. But taking a step back, how does it work in practice? Like if you want to build an ML model, what's the basic workflow? Can we simplify that process for you?
Absolutely. We can break it down into a few key steps. It's usually an iterative process, but here's a simplified flow. First, you collect data. This is your starting point, your raw material. Images, text, numbers, whatever represents the problem you're tackling.
Makes sense. Data first.
Second, you train a model. You pick an algorithm, maybe a decision tree, maybe a neural network, depends on the task, and you feed it your data. This is where the learning happens. The algorithm adjusts its internal settings, its parameters, to find those patterns in the data.
Okay, so it's learning the patterns. Then what?
Third, you evaluate and tune it. You need to check how well your trained model actually performs. And critically, you test it on new data it hasn't seen during trainings, sometimes called held-out data, or a test set.
Right, to make sure it didn't just memorize the training stuff.
Exactly. You want it to generalize. Based on how well it does, you might go back and tweak things, maybe adjust some settings called hyperparameters to try and improve its performance.
So fine-tuning based on performance?
Yep. And finally, step 4, deploy and learn. Once you're happy with how it performs, you put the model out into the real world, into production, and often the learning doesn't stop there. As it sees more real-world data, you can collect that, maybe periodically retrain the model to keep it up to date, keep it sharp, adapt to new trends.
That's really clear. Collect, train, evaluate, deploy, and maybe repeat. And it connects right back to what you said earlier. This stuff is everywhere. Can you give us a few more concrete examples, maybe places where ML is working hard behind the scenes in ways we might not even realize?
Oh, definitely. It's really quite amazing how integrated it is. We mentioned recommendation systems, Netflix, Amazon, Spotify. They're classic examples. Constantly learning your tastes.
Right, the suggestions that are sometimes spookily accurate.
Exactly. Then there's computer vision. Hugely important for self-driving cars, obviously identifying pedestrians, lanes, signs, other cars.
Yeah, critical stuff.
But also used in medical imaging analysis, security surveillance, even quality control in factories.
Okay, what else?
Natural language processing, or NLP. Every time you talk to a voice assistant like Siri or Google Assistant or Alexa, ML is working to understand your spoken words, figure out the intent, and turn it into an action. Also things like machine translation, spam filters.
Spam filters, yes, a lifesaver.
Definitely. And one more big one, fraud detection.
Ah, important.
Hugely important. Banks, credit card companies, they use ML constantly to analyze transactions in real time. They look for patterns that might indicate fraud, flagging suspicious activity, often before you even notice it yourself. It saves billions.
It really does sound almost like magic sometimes, powering so much, but as with any powerful technology, it's not perfect, right? ML isn't flawless. What are some of the challenges or, the tricky parts we need to keep in mind?
That's a really crucial point. It's definitely not magic, and there are significant challenges and considerations. One big one is data quality. There's that old saying, garbage in, garbage out.
Hey, heard that one.
It's absolutely true for ML. If your training data is bad, if it's inaccurate, incomplete, biased, your model will learn those flaws. The model is only as good as the data it learns from.
Bias is a big concern I hear about too.
Yes, bias and fairness. This is a major challenge. If the data used to train the model reflects existing societal biases, historical prejudices in hiring data, for example, the model can inadvertently learn and even amplify those biases.
Which can have really serious consequences.
Absolutely. Making sure models are fair and equitable is a huge area of research and ethical consideration.
Okay, data quality, bias, what else?
Another technical challenge is overfitting. This happens when the model learns the training data too well.
Too well? How can that be bad?
Well, it essentially memorizes the specific examples it saw during training, including any noise or quirks in that data, instead of learning the general underlying patterns.
So it doesn't generalize properly.
Exactly. It might perform perfectly on the training data, but then when you show it new, unseen data, it performs poorly because it didn't learn the fundamental concept.
I see. Like cramming for a test versus actually understanding the material.
That's a pretty good analogy, yeah.
Yeah.
And one last one that's really important, especially as models get more complex. Explainability or interpretability.
The black box problem.
Precisely. Some of the most powerful models, especially deep neural networks, can be incredibly accurate, but it can be very difficult to understand why they made a specific prediction or decision.
They just spit out an answer, but you don't know the reasoning.
Right. And in high-stakes areas like medical diagnosis or loan applications or even criminal justice, just getting an answer isn't enough. You need to know why. Not understanding the reasoning can be a big barrier to trust and adoption.
Makes total sense. So dealing with bad data, avoiding bias, making sure models generalize instead of just memorizing, and trying to understand why they make the decisions they do. Quite a few hurdles.
There are definitely things to be mindful of. ML is powerful, but it requires careful development and deployment.
Wow. What an incredible, deep dive into machine learning. We've really covered the ground, what it fundamentally is, why it's become so critical, the different ways it learns supervised, unsupervised reinforcement, that practical workflow.
The data, training, evaluation.
And touching on all those real-world examples, plus the really important challenges like bias and explainability.
Indeed. I think the key takeaway is that machine learning is this really exciting core part of AI. It's what lets computers truly learn from experience, from data. And it's quietly, or maybe not so quietly anymore, making the technology all around us smarter, more capable, from your music cue to potentially life-saving medical tools, all driven by finding patterns in data.
So for you listening, what does this all mean? Maybe the next time your phone suggests the perfect reply to a message or a streaming service nails a recommendation, what will you wonder about the ML model humming away behind the scenes? What data did it learn from? What patterns did it find? How did it get so smart? One example at a time, something to think about.